All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to devlog number 14. In this devlog, I think I'm just going to cover all of the Necromancer items because I know I haven't covered some yet. I think I covered a few of them, but I'm just going to quickly cover all of them, and then we'll take a look at the Trello board and see what else got done this time around. So let's start off. So the first notable item is the skull. So these are all placeholder assets, by the way. I still need art for everything, but I'm going to be describing the abilities. So this one is a weapon that will summon up to 5 remains that will deal damage to enemies. The legendary affixes are taunt and area damage. Area damage is whenever you resummon a remain, one of your allies, it will deal damage in a radius. And taunt is the remains will each individually taunt enemies around them, so they'll be able to attract or aggro multiple enemies, more than one. So let's equip that. I'm just going to equip 4 items here. We can see kind of how they all play out. Okay, then we have the Crown of Teeth, which is a totem that will spawn a radius of pulsing teeth that will slow enemies. The legendary affixes are Rats and Uproot. With rats, there will be mole rats that spawn and poison enemies. And Uproot, the Crown of Teeth will, the totem will be able to uproot itself and move towards enemies. So we'll equip that guy as well. Gravedigger's Trenchcoat. Summon a behemoth that will deal damage to enemies and will knock them back. We have Leap and Insta-Kill. Leap, the behemoth will just travel faster, essentially leap onto enemies, and the insta-kill, it will be able to kill a non-boss enemy every so often, so we'll equip that guy as well. And then for the trinket, we have the Saint's Knuckle. This is just an area of grasping hands that slows enemies. The legendary affixes are Spirit and Hold. Spirit will spawn fast-moving spirits that deal damage when an enemy dies while under the effect of this slow radius. And then Hold, the enemies will be held in place. So we'll equip those and we'll see how all of these play real quick. We'll get a nice idea of what's going on. And if you recall, the Necromancer kind of works like an inverse RTS. So you kind of select the enemies with a box like that, and then your allies will attack them. So I'm just going to go ahead and use all my abilities here. You'll see that this is the Teeth Totem here, this Crown of Teeth. I can summon this behemoth, which is leaping and killing things. There's my totem again, and then my hands. You can see the grasping hands sort of coming out of the ground and slowing down and holding down enemies there. Okay, so that's those 4 items. Let's go to the next 4. Alright, so we have Miasma Theory, which is a chest armor that will send out a poison sort of pestilence thing that deals damage over time. The legendary affixes are Explode and Spread. Explode, the enemies that are killed while affected will explode and deal area damage around them. And the Spread is usually limited to 5 enemies, but with this legendary affix, it makes it unlimited, so it just keeps spreading until it can't actually spread anymore. So we'll equip that guy. And then we have a Commander Scepter, which will summon 3 archers and 2 soldiers. So the archers just hang back and do a ranged attack, so they can't take aggro really. And then legendary affixes are Flame and Rapid. So Rapid Fire is archers will periodically enter Rapid Fire mode, and soldiers will periodically enter Flamethrower mode, which is basically what it sounds like. So we can see that these are all placeholder art right here, but these are the archers. The little goblins are archers, and then we have the soldiers. The interesting thing about soldiers is they can taunt more than one enemy. So if they hit or if they damage more than one enemy, they will aggro that enemy. So it kind of balances out between the skull. Okay, Halo. This is just a radius around the player that applies a burn to enemies. We have Unending and Burst. So for Unending, the effect doesn't end, but it deals a certain percentage of the total damage. So I think in this case it's, what is it, 30%? Yeah, I think it's 30% of the damage or something like that. And then the burst, the enemies that are under the effect of the burn when hit for the first time, will explode and deal a little bit of damage in the area. So we'll equip that guy as well. And then our other trinket is Mystic's Eyes, which is basically, it's going to convert nearby enemies. And then the two legendary affixes are Cooldown and Thrall. So the cooldown is reduced by 0.05 seconds when converted enemies damage other enemies. So conversion, just to make you aware of the effect, is when enemies will attack other enemies. So they'll stop attacking you and they'll go find their quote-unquote allies to attack. And then the Thrall, converted enemies move faster and deal more damage. So we'll equip that. And the last one we have to cover is Physician's Robes, but I'll cover that in the next sort of iteration here. So we'll just go in and see how all these play out. So I'm going to send these guys on. So we'll be able to see the rapid fire and the flamethrower mode come up shortly. So there's the flames, and you can see the rapid fire as well. So that's that. Our Q, Halo, so I've just applied a burn to those enemies. Our space is Miasma Theory, so you can see how that sort of spread. It's on them, and then when they die, they explode a little bit like that. And then our E is our Mystic's Eyes, so I should be able to go into this group and then convert them, and now they're attacking each other. And that effect doesn't last forever, but yeah, that's the effect. Okay, and then the final item to show is the Physician's Robes. So this one is actually pretty cool. So this one, summon a skull that when activated travels to your position and deals damage to enemies. And then we have Oscillate and Target. So normally, let me show you how the skull works normally. So there's the skull, it's placeholder art. If I press space, it comes to me and stops where I am. And then it'll deal damage to all enemies within that path. Okay? So now, if I do the Physician's Robes and I do Oscillate and Target, what Oscillate does is it causes the skull to go between its two previous positions constantly. And then Target allows me to use my mouse to tell it where to go. So I can send it over here, and now it's going back and forth. And I can send it over here now. I can set it up there. And so that's pretty cool. So we'll see how that works. So let's go into the game and see kind of how we can use this. So I'm going to send this guy down here, and now I can create sort of like a short path for it where it can deal a lot of damage to enemies. But it requires a little bit of micromanagement, so it's got a little bit going on there. But yeah, so that's the Physician's Robes. Okay, so let's take a look at the Trello board here. So I'm just going to talk to the done column here. So I fixed a bunch of issues with merchants. One issue where they could spawn in walls. I limited merchants to one use, so you can only get their services once when they show up. I fixed a bug where the Geargeist, when it equipped the plate helm with the Wave Ride legendary affix, it would cause the player to move as well. So that's fixed. Fixed an issue where when the Great Axe had the huge legendary affix and the Geargeist had it equipped, it would make the player's weapon larger as well. So that is fixed. I created an end game screen, which I can show you here. So let's go ahead and show this. Okay, so the end game screen is basically this. It'll show you your character, show you the text, you have completed your trial, it has a main menu button, and then in here, it will give you the stats for your playthrough. I don't have the conditions set up right now to show that off easily, but this is the sort of the post-game screen. That's after you beat the wave sort of trial there. Okay, and then finished up the Necromancer class, so all the items that I'm planning on adding for now are finished, which I just showed you. And then game balance. So a lot of the stream for the past 2 weeks was game balance. So a couple of notes, a couple of things I want to highlight. So legendary items are a lot more common now, which makes the game a lot more fun. The Forge, it costs a lot less, so you can change your build more often. And then it was just a matter of also sort of tweaking just the Necromancer items. They were never balanced while I was developing them, so it was just playing through and making all those items feel nice. And that is it for Devlog 14. Those are the things that were completed in the past 2 weeks. So thank you guys, as always, for your interest in Tenacious. If you want to find out more about the game, you can check out the links in the description below. And if you want to watch the dev stream, you can do that. I stream Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'll see you guys in the next devlog and on stream.